Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Been doing this for over 21 years. As a matter of fact, I looked and I found the first coffee mug right here. This is 21 years old right here. But thank you so much for letting me be on the air for 21 years. Definitely appreciate that. You can find us a lot of ways. We are syndicated. We're found on Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget, you can also find us in Alabama, close to Huntsville, channel 182 on Charter Communications. You can also find us on the Newscaster Studio. That's a wonderful place. We love being with you there as well. Another way you can find us is on the biggest country radio station in South Carolina, and that's WZLA. We appreciate that platform as well. And we have another platform. We're about to go ahead and push that out. As a matter of fact, Sarah Talker is with us right now, and she is on this platform. Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show with us. I've been so excited to talk with you. I love to watch women who break the barriers in a feminine kind of a way, if you know what I'm talking about. It's so good to be with you. So talk to us about what you do.
I am a NASCAR reporter / writer, and I have been to a handful of live events, like the Worth 400 at Texas Motor Speedway, which I was just there on May the 3rd, covering the Cup Series race. And I've done the Daytona 500. And I'm looking to branch out into more races. But I tend to pick by location because I really love Texas and I also like Florida. So.
I do too, but you're going to have to get acquainted with Alabama out there at the Talladega.
Yeah. So I've been told, everybody's like, you got to get to Talladega. You have to get to Talladega. It's amazing. So yeah, that's definitely one thing I want to do.
Now, when everybody's there, you can pronounce it exactly like you said, Talladega. But now the people who live there say Talladega. You know, like in the ditch. So that's how we say it down there. But you be what you do. So I'm just like in awe about what you do. So this is something typically a guy would do. How did you break that barrier? How did you get into this?
Ever since I was 14, my dad and I would always on Sunday watch NASCAR together when Dale Earnhardt was racing. Mm-hmm. And there was something that I noticed in particular about what was on the track, and the people out on the pit. There weren't a whole lot of women. So I later on in life, I went through a divorce and an abusive marriage and everything, and I wanted to do something that would empower me. And I thought back to that moment when I was 14 years old, and I made that observation. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, so how can I do this and bring a little bit of more awareness to women in motorsports reporting? And so out of the blue one day, I was, scrolling on Indeed, and I decided to put in an application at Total Apex. It was for writing. And it was a shot in the dark. I really didn't think anything would come of it. And they responded back and they're like, hey, would you consider doing that? So I started doing that. But I actually started off writing like entertainment and like recipe articles, things like that. Mm-hmm. And then when they had an open space on sports for NASCAR, I decided that was where I wanted to go, because that was the goal from the very beginning. So, mm-hmm. And I did it, and I was really excited. I kept writing articles, and one of the former managers, Greg, at Total Apex, asked me, he said, have you ever considered submitting some of your work to NASCAR and going to a live event and covering it? Mm-hmm. And at that point I hadn't, because I was really shy and I was really new at this. So I was like, well, why not? We'll give it a shot. So he just kept submitting my work to them. And then eventually they invited me to the Daytona 500. So that's how that got started. So it was really just kind of I want to say it was more like a spiritual thing. It's kind of like all the things aligned. It was a God thing. And I've just trusted the process, and it's led me to where I am right now. And I can sit in a room full of men and be one of the only women and just feel like I'm making an impact, and I'm opening doors for other women that might not necessarily think that they can do this.
You're definitely a pioneer. Definitely.
Yes.
Well,
I want people to understand that no matter what you go through in life, no matter who you are, where you come from, there's always every dream that you have is not too big to reach. If you have the drive, the determination, and the ambition, you can do it.
Oh, absolutely. And let's talk to some folks. Now, men and women go through the same thing. It can be a broken relationship. It can be something that just breaks you, or you think you're broken. So when was that moment when you thought, I'm not broken? When did you think that?
I just realized that all the things that he put me through, at first, like initially when you go through that and you're walking through that course, you're thinking, well, this is terrible. This is awful. And I wish this wasn't happening. But then you get then you have an epiphany where you're like, wait a minute. I'm determined that I'm not going to go through this anymore. And I'm going to pull myself out of this one way or another. And I think that's what this did for me. It gave me the power to realize that no matter how much someone degrades you or puts you down, that you're what you want to be, and you don't have to believe what people tell you.
What did your friends notice about how you arrived? And they probably told you before you even knew you had arrived. But how did your friends start talking to you once you achieved and you're always going to be achieving, but when you got to the pinnacle you're at right now, what was their thought process?
They were kind of surprised, because they're like, you're a typically very shy person, but you've just sort of emerged out of this bubble, and you didn't let him drag you down. You rose above it, and I think that's what you have to do. And I think that is a significant part of any healing process and anything difficult that you go through. And they have supported me through it, and they're very excited to see what I'm going to continue to do with it.
What did you do prior to NASCAR?
I was a mom. I was just taking care of my babies, and I was going to school. I got my master's degree, and shortly after I had my daughter, while she was 2, and so I had 2 young kids, and I was going to school, but nothing was going to stop me. I have always had this sort of drive and ambition, but when I went through the divorce that obviously broke me, and he was also abusive too, so that also added another element of power to it, and so I just knew that I wanted better for my kids, and I wanted them to see what it was like to have a mom that works hard, and I wanted to be somebody they could be proud of.
Well, I know they are. They have to be. How old are your kids now?
My daughter is 6, and my son is 10.
Oh, that's a great age right there.
They are. They're fun age.
What do they think when they know that mom interviews NASCAR guys?
My son was really amazed by it, and he was like, "This is so cool." And but I don't think he's really processed yet, the capacity of it. I think he just sees it from his point of view, because he's still kind of young, and but my daughter's like, this is really cool. She's 6 and she loves cars. She's always been the little girl that's always wanted to play with the remote control cars and play with Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars. So she thinks it's really cool, and she's like, so who did you, when I got back from Texas, she's like, so who did you interview when you got back? And I'm like, so I was going through a list of people, and she's like, that's really cool. I want to do that one day.
See, there you go. You're already setting a role model. You're a role model right now, not only for your daughter, but for other kids as well. A lot of folks don't have role models, and there needs to be more good ones out there like you.
I want to be that for people. I want not only for my kids, but I want people to see that I've risen above a lot of challenges, and there's been a lot of things in my way. I mean, you are like, there are elements to life. There's always going to be good and bad to life, and you have to. It's up to you what you do with it, and I chose to do this to make it better.
Let's talk about some of the people you have interviewed. What's the most remarkable one? I know everybody's remarkable, but is there somebody that really sticks out and you're really glad you interviewed that person?
I'm going to say Carson Hocevar, because he has risen through the ranks, and I got to interview him after his Craftsman Truck Series win in Texas. And one of the things that sticks out about him to me is he's fast on the track, but he's also he's very impactful to young people because he is very young. And when people see him, they think of somebody that they can look up to as a role model, especially like drivers that are in lower tier series like Arca Menards and the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. I mean, and even like late model drivers and dirt racers. And so I think that he is going to make a lot of strides and do a lot of things in NASCAR. And he's already doing that, by winning and making it to victory lane. And I think that speaks volumes about him.
Well, I've got to ask you, because every single state in the South claims they're the ones who actually brought racing out and made it popular. Alabama, oh no, we're the ones that did that. We're the ones that, we had folks running liquor from one area to another. That's how it all got started. Then you hear folks in Tennessee, then you hear folks in Georgia, and just all over the South. In your opinion, what really got racing started to be the powerhouse it is now?
I think it got started in North Carolina. That's like the main hub of it, Mooresville, and that's what everybody thinks of when they think of NASCAR, because that's where everyone, most of the drivers live and where it really did originate. So I think it was just a need to expand the sport. I mean, and they started on dirt tracks and they worked their way up, and they think about from, Ralph Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s dad. And then you have drivers like Moody, and it's amazing to see how they've evolved from dirt tracks and less safe. Excuse me. I apologize. They didn't have as many safety regulations back then. I'm sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. They didn't have as many safety regulations back then. And it's amazing to see how that's evolved since.
Oh, absolutely. And Phil and I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for about 9 years within the Mountain Island area, but we used to go to Concord up there, and that was a nice place up there.
It's very nice.
Oh, extremely nice. I like the way that one is organized, and it's easier to park. Now, you're always going to have to walk 50, 100 miles, it seems like, to get to the race itself.
It always seems like every racetrack you go to, including there, like if you want to get someplace, you have to walk a good bit.
Forever. Absolutely. Can you believe over half the show is already over? So we're going to have to go into a commercial break, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there, okay? We'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. the sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. You know, finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulse to electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas. Okay, we are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone, as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always so much fun. You know, you can continue sending email. I love them. I treasure each email that's sent. Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. I've got Sarah Talker with me right now, and she's doing all these things I always just dreamed of doing. So who is the person that you were just, maybe you had a shocking interview with? It could be like a good shock or a bad shock. Who comes to mind?
I guess it would be, again, Carson Hocevar on pit road at Texas, because he had kind of a bad run that day. And I just walked up to him in one of the scrums that I asked him, I just said, what happened? And he said, I don't really know what happened. He said, I was running really good. And then right there toward the end, it just kind of all wiped out. And then he just sort of jumped over because Chase Elliott won, and he just sort of ran away from the scrum and went over to Chase Elliott and started congratulating him. So it was kind of shocking in that sense, I think, because I wasn't really expecting him to kind of run away from the interview. And one of the other journalists that was there, he was like, oh no, that's just how he is. So he's a really nice guy, and I really appreciated him taking the time, because they were on time constraints. They had to get to the media center obviously go to different places for interviews. And so I really appreciated his time. But it was just a little shocking because I really didn't expect him to run out like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed interviewing him, and I entered all the other ones that I interviewed as well that day, like Chris Buescher, and I got to interview Kyle Larson in the media center. So it's amazing. It was really amazing, despite all of the.
Want to answer this one, okay? And if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. I understand. But is there a huge difference in interviewing women versus men drivers?
Not really. Not really. You just ask the questions. I mean, you obviously when you're a journalist, you watch the sport, you study it, and then you watch how the drivers perform on the track, and you just walk up to them and ask them questions. It really doesn't feel any different. It feels pretty natural to me. So.
But women drivers is a little different because women, we are known to kind of perceive things before we do. So do you notice the women drivers maybe can kind of analyze things a little bit more than the guys do?
Yeah. For example, Catherine Legg, when she did the interview after the Indy 500, and her day ended early that day, and she was explaining what happened with Ryan Hunter-Reay, and she said she had to go over to the left side to keep him from making contact with her, and she still hit the wall. And she was saying, I need an attitude adjustment before the next race. I think they're more forthcoming when it comes to answering questions. And I think men tend to hold back a little bit because I think they try to be a little bit more respectful.
Did you ever see a crash out there that maybe you just said, I don't know that I want to do this anymore? Was there one ever that
the
bad?
Daytona 500 when Ryan Preece flipped upside down? Yes, I saw that, and I immediately wondered, like, what am I doing? Because it's one thing to watch on TV, but when you actually see it in person, you see it from a whole new angle and a whole new perspective, and you can really see how dangerous the sport can actually be.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how that would, and then you start seeing ambulances coming in. Then you see the real.
Yeah, and then they take them to the infield care center, and then everybody's left wondering what happens. But they're really good about announcing and letting people know how they're doing, and they give frequent updates. But everybody always has a hard time with the Daytona 500, I think, because that's where Dale Earnhardt lost his life. So I think that one's a little. I think everybody's a little. Jittery during the Daytona 500.
And it's felt like going to the place of 9/11. It's a real reverenced area, and it's probably the same way there because it's probably the first thing people think of when they get there.
When you step in there, you step on the premises of the Daytona International Speedway. Mm-hmm. You can tell that it's obviously kind of I don't know, it's kind of haunting in a way. Mm-hmm. Happen there, and then you see like plaques and a statue commemorating him, and then it really hits home that actually happened there.
Well, I'll tell you a place we went to. We were living in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was Father's Day, and I could not think of a thing to do. I was just like, what can I do for Phil on Father's Day? Hey, this really awesome museum there. And I'm telling you, you can it's like you are really in a race car. I'm seeing these things, I'm thinking, well, that looks like something for kids. And so, I mean, you couldn't tear me away from there. I mean, I got so interested. So you get in this mock car, and it's like you are literally driving a race. I mean, it is so fun. Have you been to that one?
No,
I
haven't, but that's definitely on my list of things to do. I definitely want to do the NASCAR driving experience or the NASCAR experience, either one, because you actually get to be in a next gen and they take you around the track. Obviously, it's not at the normal speed that they would go, but it's still good for the experience, I think. And I think everybody should try it at least once. And I'm going to try it. I think I'm brave enough to try it. We'll see.
Well, you mentioned safety earlier, so let's talk about that for a minute, because it seems like they have so much gear and stuff on. How can they even get in and out of the car? How do they manage?
Well, they have a fire suit, and then obviously the helmet, and it's amazing because they have to climb through the window of the left rear window of the car to get in. So, and those suits are heavy from what I understand.
Yeah.
And so I think it takes a lot of maneuvering and a lot of skill to even just get inside the car before you can actually hit the track. So,
I'd never make it inside the car. It'd be like,
I think I'm right there with you. I don't think I would either.
I
really don't.
Is there some kind of a cooling system they have in there? Because
they do. They have a cooling system in there. They have a setup with like water and obviously the microphone that's attached to their, and headset attached to their helmet so that they can, receive information from the spotters and team owners and everything. So it's just really like a huge bundle of technology. There's so much in those cars. And it's amazing. I want to get inside one because I have to see this.
I think it's rather amazing too when they change the tires, how fast those guys do that.
Yeah. And I've seen them do that. I've been on pit road when they've done it, and it is like lightning quick. You look, they come through pit road, they stop, they put the tires on, and then they're gone. And it's like you can't even think how fast that is. It's so quick. I mean, it's amazing. I can't even believe it.
I would be wondering, okay, you did this a little too fast. Did you really get those bolts in there really good?
It kind of makes you think, yeah, are they really getting it on there correctly?
Well, apparently they are. Because there they did. About 2 minutes left in this segment. So I wanted to ask you another question. If you were not doing this, what would you be doing, Sarah?
I'd probably be pursuing being a professor because I've always wanted to teach, or maybe a high school teacher. I like teaching. I like educating people, and I always try to do things to educate myself. So this is kind of far outside the box of things that I would see myself doing. And like I said, I just sort of fell into it. It kind of just happened by accident and aligned. And like I said, the only explanation I really have is God. So, and I'm going to continue following this path, and maybe at some point I can also do that because I would love to still do that.
You thought about writing a book?
Yes, I have thought about writing a book, and I want to write a book about my experience with my marriage and all the things that happened there to sort of inspire other women who may be on the fence about leaving someone or who are going through an abusive situation, that you do have a voice, and you can be your own voice.
Absolutely, you can. You can do things that other people can't imagine. What would you like to say to everybody right now before we go?
I would like to say, dream big, aim for the stars. Don't ever sell yourself short. Don't ever, buy into what anyone tells you. If you can't say, if they tell you can't do this, you can't do that, don't buy into it. You can do anything that you set your mind to, and you just have to work at it. It may take time, but trust the process and don't give up.
Right. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being on the show with me. It's been a wonderful interview. I've enjoyed meeting you.
I've enjoyed meeting you too. Thank you for having me on today.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you guys so much for watching. You're the reason we do what we do. We always have wonderful guests. That's why the show's been going on for 21 years. We have awesome guests here. Again, you can continue sending email, Donna@donnazedge.com, Donna@donnazedge.com. Thank you so much for watching. It's always good to be with you. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.